Aloha and welcome to the Friday Marketing Jam session. Good to see you, Richie.
Hey, good to see you too, Tom. Happy New Year.
Oh, yeah. Happy New Year to you too. Yeah, it seems like I haven't seen you since last year. Oh, wait. I haven't. There you go. Listen, we got a great show lined up for y'all today. We're going to be talking about how to become the CEO of your agency. So it's never too early to become the boss, right? And the earlier you put this into place, the faster your income and, more importantly, your freedom will soar. We're going to be talking about that. I'm going to give you some tech stack updates, some reading updates, just some things that's going on starting the new year. We're going to take your questions. We're going to talk about the new course, the Lazy Agency Owners Growth Toolkit we rolled out. Basically, we're just going to have a lot of fun. So I am going to cue up the intro, and we'll see you back here in one momento.
It's time, the moment you've been waiting for. Get ready for the fastest 60 minutes of marketing strategies and tactics to grow and scale your business from anywhere in the world. After 167 agonizing hours, we've returned for a brand new Aloha Marketing Jam session. And now, here are your hosts.
Oh, listen to that, Richard. That crowd is fired up out there. Fired up, ready to hit 2024. I'm still dating everything 2022, by the way. Oh, settle down. There we go. Look at him. Calm down a little. Welcome, everybody.
Yeah, welcome.
Let's see. I like your setup there. You got the microphone hanging from above, and
we've been working on it. Actually, the only thing I didn't get done, I was aiming to do it this morning, was set up my camera as well, so that I had that feeding. And but I will get the studio finished off in good time.
Nice, fun to set all that stuff up, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Like, I mean, it sounds great. Like, I know when I got this set up, and I'm figuring out lights and cameras and monitors, and I love looking at all that stuff. I love figuring it all out. So it's looking good.
The only thing I find now, Tom, is that I used to be able to set that stuff up just straight away. Now I've got to go and find my glasses first, otherwise I can't see what I'm doing. Yeah.
It's so funny you say that. So one of the things that I've added to the tech stack for this show. I mentioned this, I think, before Christmas, but I got a Elgato teleprompter, and I had a different teleprompter set up before, but I couldn't use it on the live show. Like, I never used it on the live show because you basically had to put in a script. I mean, it was a real teleprompter, right? You put in a script and it just rolled up the screen. There wasn't really anything else you could do with it. And so I couldn't ever use it on the live show. And that's why you always see me looking off to the side and doing different things like that. But like right now, I'm looking straight at the camera, but I'm also looking at a browser window, because this Elgato teleprompter, it's actually, the way my other teleprompter worked was it had like a setup and a mirror, and you put an iPad under it or your phone, and that's what you saw, the reflection in the mirror. This has its own, it's basically a monitor. So it's an actual external monitor. So I can drag windows into the monitor and it automatically flips them. So when I'm looking in the mirror, I can see everything.
That's clever. Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
Talking about how good they are, and but they're out of stock at the moment. Is that right?
Yeah, they were. I had to wait for mine. I know that Cameron ordered it, and then there was a wait, and then it came. But it's pretty cool. I like it a lot because being able to pull the things in and stuff like that, it gives me some freedom. I'm still trying to kind of figure out how everything coordinates together, but I really like it. I think it for the agency side of things, where I think this would come in useful is if you or someone on your team is doing a lot of Zoom calls. This would be really great because you can actually pull the information you need to the client right up. So you could basically read a report, but never have to take your eyes off the screen.
Well, you're keeping their attention and their engagement at the same time, which is a really valuable part of a good call,
Yeah, I think so. And anyway, so I think it'd be super handy for those situations as well. Let's go ahead and the way I've got it set up right now, though, is I've got one screen in here, and then I've got like my comments down here. So let's see who's in here. So what's up, Patty? Welcome. I see Jeremy's here. Dorn. Ooh, who put in the comments who on this live show right now is in the Shark Alliance? Who's in the Shark Alliance? I don't know if you guys know this, but whenever we put out a new course, all the Shark Alliance elite members, they get that course for free. That's part of their membership. So they get access to the course, to the upgrades, to everything that's in there. And we put out 3 courses a year. So a pretty good value along with all the other training and everything like that. But Megalodon, Dorn Brinton, has been heading up the Shark Alliance. And I know you help them out in there too sometimes, Richie.
I chip in. I chip in. That's all. But Dawn runs a great operation in Shark Alliance, and there's a real motivated bunch of people that he's surrounded himself with inside of Shark Alliance, and the problem solving and the communication in there is second only to, I think, probably Remote Millionaires, without painting it negatively. It's really cool. And I know before Christmas he was doing a planning exercise, a document that he'd made to plan out your goals for 2024, and it was super in depth and really valuable. And it's a tool that I jumped on and used straight away. It's very, very good. Yeah,
he's been doing a great job over there. And the reason I bring it up is because I honestly believe that the Shark Alliance is one of our most underrated offerings.
Absolutely,
because there's different levels. We have there's a free, there's a plus, and there's an elite. And the plus, what you get in the plus, which is only, I think, like $47 a month, is a complete process of going from 0 to 6 figures in an agency. It's the first, it's the way that we got our agency initially to 6 figures, and it's called the path to 6 figures. It works on levels. You have to complete each level. It's a step-by-step thing. So if you're out there and you're like, man, I just really want a step-by-step, I need a blueprint, I need some accountability, maybe, just RMs, maybe a little out of reach or just down the road, or you're just not quite there yet, the Shark Alliance and even the Path to 6 Figures is a great place to start.
Yeah.
And Dorn, they do a monthly coaching call there. Dorn's got, I think, like a mastermind call, but he sent me a document a few days ago of some ideas he had for reworking the Shark Alliance, and they are freaking killer. So if you're in there, keep your eyes out for what Dorn's doing there. Really great stuff coming your way, and all that. So really good stuff.
Yeah, I see. Sam Rahman has joined us. Haven't caught up with Sam for a while, but I hope your convalescing is going well. So he broke his femur.
I know. Yeah, I hope the recovery's going well.
Yeah, that would have been a tough time of year over Christmas, New Year. But I know I think he got his laptop to the hospital bed and carried on working as a trooper does. So good on you, Sam.
Yeah, good stuff. I see Lynette's in here. James, Jeremy. Who else we got? 222. Look, I see somebody who's just a Facebook user. If you, the team can post a link, but if you click on the link and grant StreamYard permission, then we will be able to see your comments like this. See, where you can see. That's an actual, I don't know if that's an actual picture of Dorn when he was a kid, but
I think yeah, there's no caricature there. It's that is definitely, like, from him when he was five and a half.
Yeah. Yeah, we can show that. Yeah, I know Dorn mentioned he hasn't been feeling well there. Nick has got the flu bug. There's a lot of people that have been sick in my orbit, but so far I have avoided it, and the family's avoided it, so that's good. Kristen says, ready to rock 2024. That's right. Man, I've still been putting the wrong dates on things. I keep having to cross it out and go, oh, yeah, it's 2024. Yeah. Let's see what else everybody's talking about. What's going on? Jeremy, welcome everybody. Awesome to see everybody. Yeah, looks like a lot of people not feeling too well. This is a great place to hang out if you're not feeling well, right?
Well, David Califor, he's joined us and says is my favorite show on Facebook. What's up, guys? Hey, David. Happy New Year.
David, awesome you're here. The thing I have trouble with right now is figuring out how to get the mouse into the new window. So let's talk about a couple things. So first, we brought out a new course a couple days ago called the Lazy Agency Owners Growth Toolkit. We're going to talk about that. If you haven't seen it yet, don't worry. I'll give you a link. I'll have it scrolling by the screen here in a minute, and you can go check it out. I don't want to get too wrapped up in it right now on the show, but we're going to talk a little bit about that. I want to talk about some things in there because that whole toolkit really is about becoming the CEO of your agency, right? Like basically what we did, something we've never done before or up to this point, which is we took several of the key processes that we only teach to remote millionaires. So, and we put them in this little toolkit. They're the actual standard operating procedures that we use every day in our agency around the standard operating procedures for the 3 services that we use to generate over $1 million. There's onboarding processes in there. That we'll talk about all that stuff in a minute, but I don't know any place else where you can get this information, and definitely nowhere that people are parting with it for such a crazy low price. But, as Nick and I were talking about, like, what are we going to do in 2024? Where do we want to go? Like, one of the biggest things for us is we want everyone to move up, right? We want to level everybody up. We feel like there's just so much opportunity out there. And so we want to make some of the things that, a lot of the things that we do a little more accessible for people. And selfishly, our reasoning behind that is we feel pretty confident if you see what's in the toolkit, if you implement it, you're going to want more help, right? You're going to want more stuff like that. And then you're going to come to us and you're going to be like, hey guys, I want to be in the Shark Alliance. I want to be in Remote Millionaire.
Yeah, and once you get a taste for it, Tom, you're going to want to keep growing. And
yeah, exactly. Because it's a never ending journey, right? There's no finish line. Like, it's a never ending journey. So, before I do the actual Shark shout outs, I want to talk about this for a second. So I'm going to share my screen here. And this is something. So one of the things that we do in Remote Millionaires is, so we used to have a Slack workspace for all Remote Millionaires members, but recently we have moved the entire Remote Millionaires community to its own private school group. So all Remote Millionaires have their own school group where they can share ideas, they can ask questions, all that kind of stuff. Let me close this out. I'll just show you guys that. So let me share my screen here real quick. And I want to do this to kind of start off the shout out stuff. So, all right, everybody should be looking at my screen there. So this is the Remote Millionaires school group. You can see there's some pinned posts here, some things like that. A welcome thing from Nick. Couple of wins. I'm sure these are going to be on the list. We got Chris got a win. Joanne is getting some PAL stuff. But what I wanted to talk to you guys about was Nick pretty regularly, about every other day or so, he's making posts here in Remote Millionaires talking about what's going on in the agency. And this is a post he made a few days ago talking about where we're at in the agency at the end of 2023. And you may see in a similar post like this in our main Facebook group. And the reason I share this is because, one, this was a big win for the agency. The agency crossed $1 million in total revenue for 2023. So that is totally, the agency, as everyone in this community knows, is completely independent of Offline Sharks and Remote Millionaires. So that 1.3 million that the agency did, that is all from clients. It has zero to do with anything generated from Offline Sharks. Offline Sharks is an entirely separate business, has its own bookkeeping, agency, completely separate. I say all that because I think it's important that everyone here knows that we are doing what we teach. Like we are actively doing it. I don't know of hardly any other people in the agency space that are teaching, and you probably see their Facebook ads all the time, that are actually doing it. A lot of them had agencies in the past. Maybe they just have a few clients, and they've really just focused on teaching people how to build an agency because for them, that's where the money is. That's not our situation. Yes, we make money from offline sharks. It's a good thriving business, but the agency also is a really great thriving business. So this post here, Nick is talking about how the systems and processes that we teach in RM, and that now you actually have inside the Lazy Agency Owners Growth Toolkit. These are the same systems and processes that up until now only Remote Millionaires members had. You now have a few of these. You don't have all of them, right? You don't have the support and all that stuff with implementation, but you have the systems. And I'll talk about what we put along with that to help you out as well. But these are the exact systems and processes that allowed us to do 1.3 million in revenue in the agency in 2023. So there's a screenshot here of the square from the agency, and we've collected around 800K in Square alone. The rest we've collected via QuickBooks. But one of the things I want to point out here is our most valuable customer at the agency paid us over $100,000 last year. I want you to think about that. $100,000 from one single customer at the agency. Now imagine if we had 10 of those. If we get 10 of those this year, right? We would immediately add another 7 figures to the agency. We just need 10 clients like one we already have. So we know they're out there because we've already got one, right? But Nick, he says in here, that's not really the point of the post. Really what he's trying to say here is, look, it's the new year. You guys are going to see a lot of stuff. There's going to be a lot of options, ideas, and paths you could go down, right? But we're actually out there building the agency, growing the agency, doing it, and sharing what we're doing. So I would encourage you, hopefully, to keep some blinders on to a certain extent, right? It's okay to look at what's going on out there, but really remember, if you want to be successful in this game, you have to do 4 things. You have to set up a prospecting machine. Nick talks about them right here. You have to set up a prospecting machine, consistent prospecting, actually having real conversations with potential clients. I don't know any other way to get clients, right? Like, we're in the agency space. We're going to be working.
They don't just drop out of the sky, unfortunately.
That's right. In fact, it's interesting. We were talking about how really great clients at the agency, they're like, we've created those clients, and we'll talk more about that. Well, I'll talk more about that in a minute. Anyway, so you got to set up your prospecting machine. You want to speak with business owners every day via the phone, in person, text, or email. That's what I was talking about. Actual conversations with people that will potentially hire you. Like, they have to be the real deal. You need to build a team of specialists that you can outsource your work to with high profit margins, right? In the Lazy Agency Growth Toolkit, we didn't want to complicate that process. So when you get the Growth Toolkit, we only have one upgrade offer that goes with that. And it's a training that we did on how we build a team for fulfillment and for sales without spending any of our own money. It's killer training. Essential that you start doing that now instead of waiting till later. If I had one piece of advice to give Nick and Tom way back in 2014 when we were doing the agency stuff before Offline Sharks, the piece of advice I would give us is we should be getting help now, not waiting. And since we have a special approach that allows us to do that without spending any of our own money, like, it's easy to do that, and you can just copy that approach, right? And then number 4, you want to build a team of managers to help run the day-to-day and your client happiness. And we have a lot of that in the agency now. You see, that's really what Nick is helping a lot of our RM members with, showing those roles, how we find those people, how we do that, all that stuff, right? So look, if you're new, you're probably thinking, man, this seems like a lot of stuff. I mean, I got to be honest, it kind of is a lot of stuff, right, Richie?
Oh, it's an enormous amount of stuff, and that can create that feeling of overwhelmed, and then something else comes along and go, oh, that's going to be so easy to implement, and it takes your focus away, and it's that sticking to your knitting that really makes a difference. And the thing I love about this program, the Lazy Agency Owner, is it has got all the essential elements of being able to do it in a measured time frame and just follow it and execute it. And then you'll wind up with lots of other things you're going to move on to as well. But if you stick with the path on this, it will move you from zero to hero very quickly.
Yeah, and it's really the step-by-steps and the processes, right? And in the beginning, you may be doing those processes and implementing those things that are in the SOPs, but eventually your goal should be to hand that off to other people, right? So you can step away.
Yeah, and it's a technique I've always followed. Is I like to do it myself one time, and then the second time I do it is when I'm training someone else and making sure that they've got all the details down, and that hopefully you've hired someone or engaged someone who actually spots more detail than you do. And they know more than you do as well, because then you've run them through how you want it delivered, and they're up and away, and they simply perform that function, and they perform it better than you can. And that's what really grows your business quickly.
Yeah. And, this is a good point that I didn't even really mention that Patty points out here. We lost a good chunk of clients due to the fires that happened in Lahaina. And yet we were still able, even with losing those clients, because of the systems, the processes, and what we are in place, it didn't slow us down. We were still able to hit 1.3 million. Had that fire not happened, who knows what the revenue would be, right? So, thanks, Patty, for reminding me of that, because I completely I was like, oh yeah, I didn't even think about that. So again, I say all this stuff just to kind of let's get us centered and focused for 2024. Everything you need, the systems, the processes, we have it here at Offline Sharks. We're doing it. We're using it in our own agency. Just follow the blueprint, right? Don't overthink this. Mm-hmm. It really comes down a lot to the fundamentals and just doing the little things and the stuff that most people aren't doing. Like, for instance, speaking with business owners every day via the phone, person, text, or email.
Yeah, you can't do that. I'm going to do it tomorrow. I was going to make 20 calls today, but I'm going to make 40 tomorrow, because if you didn't make 20 calls today, you got no hope of making 40 tomorrow. So and I like to break it down to, don't aim for 20 calls a day, 100 calls a week. Start with 5. And if it's going to be a case of building to that, start with 1 on Monday and do 2 on Tuesday and 3 on Wednesday, and build it up that way, because that consistency will gain you the results. And I think Chris Byrne, another great RE member and our coach as well, he managed to build an agency, a successful agency, doing 1 hour a day. But he's disciplined about focusing on that time, and he knows exactly what he's going to do in that hour. So if you plan that out, you're planning for success.
Yeah, I agree. And I think this is important to point out, because if you're new or you're on this call and you're thinking, oh, I got to make calls, I got to do cold calling. That's not what we're talking about. So you may be thinking, well, gee, I thought this toolkit's called the Lazy Agency Owner. None of this sounds lazy. Well, here's the thing. Being a lazy agency owner is not about not doing anything. It's
not about sitting in a hammock.
Yeah, it's about working smarter, not harder. I know that's an old cliche thing, but that really is what it's about. When Richie talks about making calls, I want to talk about the reality of what he's doing. He has a cold email automated machine set up that's doing all the grinding work of getting prospects' attention, building a relationship, letting them know who he is, making them an offer. He's only talking to people that have raised their hands and said, I'm interested in what you're selling and I want to know more. He's not out there cold call, he's not making 40 cold calls. He's talking to interested people because he has a system and a process. Same thing with a lot of our members, right? This is the key to it. Like, when we say you need to be doing consistent prospecting every day, we're not saying you have to be doing it. Like, just running the reach machine as our cold email prospecting system, right? having that set up and running every day is doing step one, right? And then that leads you to step two, which is being able to actually talk to people, but not in a uncomfortable way, in a completely normal way. They want to talk to you. You want to have conversations with them. It's really like a no pressure type sales approach. In fact, we're going to do a training next Wednesday. I'm going to do a live training. We're not going to have an encore. It's just going to be a live thing where I'm going to talk about this in a lot of detail, right? I'm going to talk about how we set this up so the prospecting is happening. We're only talking to people that are interested, why you want to do that, how to avoid being thrown in the bucket of an agency just trying to sell them stuff. Like, how do you make it so people want to hear from you? There's specific strategies for that. And what I was kind of alluding to earlier, and I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on this, but I mentioned good clients are assembled, right? Here's what I mean by that. A lot of people think, oh, if I just get a cold email list of potential prospects, and I send out an email or I call them, like, those people are good clients. Like, they're not good clients. They're a cold email list, right? They are not good clients at this point. They have to be nurtured and turned into clients that spend $100,000 a year with you. And when I was talking about that client earlier, that's what I mean. We have a process where we take those cold leads and we build a relationship with them. We build trust. We let them see that we are a real business that can be counted on, that does what it says it's going to do. Like, we turn them into clients that spend $100,000, right? Like, no one is just going to take an email that you send them, open it up, and be like, oh, sounds great. Here, send me an invoice for $100K. Like, that is, I don't care what the gurus, what the agency, I don't care what you see on a Facebook ad. That is not going to happen, right? Those clients have to be nurtured, and they're actually assembled. They're actually put together by your efforts and how you present yourself, position yourself, and build up what you're doing, right? So, look, you can pick up some low-hanging fruit, some inexpensive clients, things like that. We do that. That's great if you need cash flow, all that stuff. But when you're talking about big clients, sustainable income, all that stuff, that's a nurture process, right? I mean, think about, think about your relationship with us at Offline Sharks, right? We do a lot to nurture that relationship. This Friday live show, we send out emails every day. We have a lot of free stuff, right? Like, we're always doing things to try to add value to you and to what you're trying to do, so you do business with us. Same thing at the agency. Same thing when you have an agency. You have to build that trust. You have to do all that stuff, right? Yes, Dorn, the clients will not just click a button and sign up. They will not.
We hope so. Oh, see, no, we took it off.
Yeah. So, I know I'm kind of ranting on a little, so I want to wrap this up because I'm going to talk more about this when I show you guys the Lazy Agency Owner members area. I want to talk about a few specific things in there, and then keep an eye out for our link to the training for next week. If you're in the Lazy Agency Owners Growth Toolkit, you should already be registered for that. But that training, I think, is going to be really good. Again, it's I'm working on it right now. Like I know what it's going to be, but I'm getting it all formatted, so it's great and stuff like that. So you guys are going to want to show up for that. I'm also going to let this link scroll along the bottom of the screen, but don't go there yet. This is the link to pick up the Lazy Agency Owner Growth Kit. You go to offlinesharks.com/lazy agency. It's on a special price right now. So, I mean, it's under $30. It's super expensive for everything you get. And we'll talk about it in a minute.
I shake my head in disbelief, but in a positive way, because I saw the price and just went, there must be something wrong. I mean, that amount of information and the content that's in it, aside of the downloadables, the things you can take away and go and implement straight away, I was just staggered at the price. I mean, it's that means this course, the Lazy Agency Owner, isn't about making money for Offline Sharks. It's about sharing the love and sharing the positivity that goes with putting these things in place and getting growth for people. and it creates a win-win. I think it's just hats off to you guys. It's fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, Nick and I had lots of conversations about whether we really wanted to release that stuff at that price, right? But we felt it was the right thing to do, because that information in there can really help you, And again, we're not just like, oh, let's just give everything away, right? Like we can't just give everything away because we've got a team, we've got people that count on us for paychecks, like we have things that are going on. So we try to make it as affordable as we can. And again, hopefully our selfish reason for doing this is that you're going to see what's in there. You're going to implement it. You're going to get some results and you're going to want more help from us, whether that's, again, joining the Shark Alliance or becoming a full-fledged Remote Millionaires member, or whatever, just, maybe picking up a course we put out later in the road or something like that. So anyway, I want to thank you, Lena. I appreciate that comment. That's really great. I want to do some Shark shout outs, and then I want to talk about the Lazy Agency Owner Growth Toolkit and show you some things in there. And I'm going to give you some updates on some things I'm reading and some stuff that's going on. So let me share my screen. Oh, one more. I'm going to give you guys one more tech update. And then we're going to go to I meant to talk about this earlier. We may go a little over today, Richie. I hope you don't have anywhere to be. Why won't I?
No, I've got more prospecting to do, Tom. So I've only done a couple of calls and an email today. I've got a few things to follow up in Friday.
Hold on. Okay. Whoa. I opened something by accident. Tech wizard. I am not. Let me close that. Okay. So I couldn't, for some reason, get my cursor back down here. So I'm going to show you this screen. So if you guys have ever watched me on the live show, sometimes when I pull up my my Chrome windows, you've probably seen like a collection of bookmarks and sites. I've used a tool called Toby for a couple of years now, which allows you to easily instead of having 50,000 windows open, Toby allows you to like group windows into categories, to save the link. It's like a bookmark tool on steroids, right? And I've been using it for a while. It was really awesome. But recently they went to a paid model. They had a free thing. They're moving to a paid model. I was getting an error with the free one that I had. So I went searching for a new tool. And this is what I found. So I found this thing called Bookmark Ninja. And whenever I open a new window in Chrome, this is what pops up. This is my dashboard. So you can see, like, I can categorize everything's and actions day to day. I like making titles like investments in a good life. Instead of saying bills, like how boring is that, right? Who wants to open something up and see a tab that says bills every day? I don't want to see that. But those bills provide me with a good life, right? The electricity provides me with the stuff to do this, all of those things. So, the water makes the yard look pretty. So I think those bills are actually an investment in a good life. So I call them investment in a good life. So just makes me feel better whenever I look at them. And lots of other stuff in here. So you can see even some hobbies, magic and poker, but I got things like things I want to look at now, things I look at on the daily, things related to offline sharks, stuff to review later, all that kind of stuff. So Bookmark Ninja is the tool. It is not a free tool. I think it cost me a whopping $20 for an entire year. I think it was $22 or something. But I am really liking it. And unlike Toby, what is so great about Bookmark Ninja is it operates on all your devices. So it is actually on my phone. When I'm on my phone and I'm on something either in Safari or Chrome, it's cross-platform. So if I'm in Safari and I bookmark something, when I open my Chrome bookmarks, it shows up there. It's really crazy. So it's cross-platform, all devices. I really love it. So I thought I'd share that with you guys. And then let's do some shark shout outs. So let me figure out.
It's a great tool. Yeah, thanks for sharing, Tom. Norm Thomas shared a really cool free tool for SEO lookups in Remote Millionaires, and that's the sharing of, we all find good things, that work really well, and sharing them just helps everyone else and gain a bit more productivity. So thanks for that.
Yeah. I don't really change my tech stack that often, but this one was a big one. I spent a lot of time looking for something and playing with it over the break and all that stuff. So I thought you guys might like it. All right. Okay. So let's do, Patches. He's getting a little crazy there. Hold on. Let me get my thing back.
Don't start me on crazy dogs, mate. Molly is...
Molly's getting big.
She's getting real big, and she's been quite a handful the last couple of weeks. So we cut short our time in Florida because, she's become a real handful, and there were too many alligators around. I knew something bad was going to happen. So, yeah.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad she's okay, but she's a handful. That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's do some shark shout-outs. Let's celebrate some wins, and then we'll spend the last few minutes talking about the Agency Growth Toolkit, taking questions, that kind of thing. So, first up, Patches is over here whining. Joanne Westwood, who is an RM member, she kicked off 2024 with some wins. She got a new Google business profile for $350. It's for a finance organizer. She's managing a Google profile and 3 websites for a photographer at $1,200 for now and $1,200 again in a month. So $1,200 a month. Also closed on a new Google business profile for a new division from a past client. Excellent wins, Joanne. Really love seeing you have that kind of success. Chris signed a recurring service, $399 a month, working on hiring a manager for the day-to-day runnings of his agency. That's a big step, Chris. I'm awesome to see you doing that. Chris is who Richie was talking about earlier, who's been building his agency while working a full-time job, spending about an hour a day. So I had him on the live show a couple weeks ago. If you didn't see that one, you should go check it out. All right, that's our wins for this week. Look at that. We got to have some more in there. If you didn't post your wins because of the holidays, go post them. But that's a combined total of $3,149 for the week of December 30th through January the 5th. It's a grand total of $3,149 for the start of 2024. As you guys know, we track all this stuff. So if you go out there, take some action, get a client, make sure you post your wins with the dollar amount. That way we can get them in here. What did we hit, Richie? Because I wasn't here.
We hit 1.485, I think it was. We were very close to 1.5. So
1.5 million. That our members didn't close business. So let's try to go for 2 million in 2024. Let's do it. Let's do it. All right. Awesome. Well, really good work, Joanne and Chris, on the shout out stuff. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. Right. I was caught up with Joanne the other day, and she is just on fire. She's got a lot of things going on, and she's using her reach machine to good effect, and she's sticking with that program of good net.
Oh, I lost your video there, Richie. You muted yourself. Not your video, your sound. Sorry. You're muted all of a sudden. Here, let me see if I can unmute you. That's so weird. I don't know why you muted. Oh, here. It says your mic isn't connected. Maybe you popped something there. While Richie's doing that, I'm going to go down and take a couple of the comments here. Yeah, Dorn, I think you should become a client for Jacqueline. You're back. Okay. Yeah.
Sorry, we bump on the technical in the loose maze of wires that are on my desk. That's the next step to fix up.
Let me answer this question real quick, and then I'll let you pick up your thoughts. So, Barb, if you just go submit a ticket at offlinesharks.com/support, just tell the team to send you that link. They'll send it to you. All right, go ahead, Richie. I'll let you finish your thought there.
Look, Joanne has got the best combination of all in prospecting and driving growth in her agency is that using that outreach through a reach system. And talking to people and person that, but the other side of it is the constant networking as well. And once you meet someone, being introduced to someone else through them, and that referral stuff is super powerful. And she's gained momentum in both of those areas, which is feeding a constant flow of business to her agency. So it's really well done. It's been executed superbly.
Yeah, I've been impressed with what she's been doing, how she's been growing and getting all the stuff done in RM. It's really awesome to see. Yes, Jacqueline, we think it is this deal. By the way, just so you guys know, I think the Lazy Agency Owner Growth Toolkit is $28 today. The way we do a launch is the price goes up each day, and then there's a pretty big price jump when the launch closes. So it's still under $30. You should go there. I think it's so funny. We were just going to roll it out internally, Richie, and we were like, we might as well just, let's put it on Warrior Plus and just see if anybody promotes it. And a few affiliates stepped in, and we got deal of the day today. We're actually
fantastic. Excellent.
Warrior Plus. Yeah. So anyway, so the price will go up again tonight. And then there's a big jump. I think it closes on Saturday. So I think there's a big jump on Saturday at midnight Pacific Standard Time. But you can go to that link. You can check it out and see all the details there. I even said in the video that's on that page, I think at the very end, Richie, it's a quote from Bill Gates, which I thought was so great, where he said, if he had any job to do, he would find a lazy person to do it, because the lazy person would always find an easy way to get it done.
That's like, good advice. Good advice. Yeah.
I want to be, I love getting things done, but I also want to be able to sit back and relax at some point, right?
Well, I think that analogy before, it's not about sitting in a hammock. It's about sitting in a hammock with your laptop and a good team who are performing with you. That's what it's about. So,
yeah. I love Frank the Tank. Yep. It's I'm not getting up either. Here's a quick little announcement from our team as well. If you're an Agency Growth Machine or Reach member, normally we would have a call next Wednesday, but we're going to push it to the 17th because of that training that I'm doing next Wednesday. So if you're planning on going to that call, just come to the training, hang out with me. And,
absolutely. And we had our last one on the 20th of December, so it's good to have a gap between the two, and sort of build up the questions and the activity as well. So it's good that we've pushed it for a week, because I think this is far more important. If you're in AGM and Reach, this lazy agency owner is just, it's the logical next step for you, and something you need to have in your toolkit.
Yeah, Doran had a great comment in the Facebook group. He called it, he's like, because Dorm is and like you are in Remote Millionaires. And he was like, it's like Remote Millionaires Light. He's like, this is a crazy deal. You should get this. And, so let me show you guys a couple things, and then we'll take some questions about the Lazy Agency Growth Toolkit, if I can say it all. So I'm going to share my screen here. So this is the members area. So once you get in, you'll get an email with access. This does not live at offlinesharks.com like a lot of our other courses. This has its own unique members area, because there were some new things we wanted to do with the members area that we're testing out and working with, and we couldn't do it in our main members area because it would affect a lot of other stuff. And so this does have its own unique members area. So you'll get a link and a login for that. So if you go looking for it at offlinesharks.com, you're not going to find it there. It's got its own members area. If you can't find the link or something like that, no biggie. Just go to offlinesharks.com/support. Talk to the team. They'll get you squared away, right? Obviously, you want to join the Facebook group if you're not in the Facebook group. There's a couple of free bonus things that are on here as well. But I want to talk about the main stuff. So in the Lazy Agency Owners Growth Toolkit, you get 3 modules. And if you've heard us talk about the 3 pillars of a successful agency, which are client acquisition, right? Client acquisition, fulfillment, and systems and processes. Those are the 3 pillars of a successful agency. The growth toolkit, I'm just going to call it that for short. The growth toolkit addresses all 3 of those pillars. And so for client acquisition, we have this section here for sales and onboarding. And so, as you know, we have a full-time sales rep at the agency now. We didn't have that in the beginning. Now we've had her for, I think, over a year. But, early on, we grew the agency to around 600K without a sales rep, doing things like having an appointment setter. Now that we have the Reach system, we don't even need an appointment setter. Actually, this is interesting because the Reach system, which we kind of developed and worked out after we had our full-time sales rep, like when we just want to send her easy knockdown leads, we send her those leads. but they actually do pretty much what she's doing for us. So that reach system is kind of like, what did Cameron call it the other day? Cameron called it the robot sales, the robot rep, the robot sales. I thought it was such a great name because that reach system, it really takes the place of what a real actual salesperson would do for you. But in this module, we've got our sales and onboarding system, which is, we talk about that. We've got how to hire a salesperson. So this is training. Again, a lot of this stuff only been available in Remote Millionaires up until now. But Nick talks about hiring the full-time sales rep, the pay structure. We have an interview with our sales rep who is just crushing it, right? Then there's a section on sales and onboarding, and there's some resources that come with this. And then there's the sales and onboarding SOPs. I'm going to talk about the SOPs in a minute. And then you also get all of the onboarding forms that we use in the agency. These are the actual onboarding forms. So you get them for web design, SEO, pay-per-click, bonus, right? And then there is the fulfillment SOPs. So that's the client acquisition module. Now we're talking about fulfillment. These are the 3 services that we use to generate over $1 million in 2023. So websites, pay-per-click, SEO. So what I wanted to show you guys is here is our SEO SOP. So for those of you that maybe don't know, SOP, it's standard operating procedure. This is the actual SOP. This is if you hired Nick Ponte Marketing to do SEO for you, this is what we do, step by step, broken down. All the SOPs are like this. And I just want to highlight a couple things so you can kind of see the level that we're operating at and the level that you want to be operating at as well. So every SOP always starts out with what we're doing. Because remember, although you can follow these SOPs, our main goal is for you to hand them off to someone else. So these are the documents that go along as you train somebody and show them exactly what to do. So we have someone on our team, they follow this document for each client, right? And in the onboarding process, you'll see how we hand that off and how all that stuff works as well. So along with the SOPs inside the toolkit, there's video training. So like this is the SEO SOP that you're looking at right now. And then here's a training of Nick going through how to implement the SOP, how you put it into, how you do it for real, right? So, and then there's a list of the tools. So again, they start with what we're doing, why we're doing it, right? And then how do you do it step by step? So you can see here's what the prerequisites are, right? These are the things that need to be in place before you start this process. Here's the SEO checklist for the first month. Here's everything we do in the first month, right? Here's the how to do the keyword selection, how to analyze the on-page SEO. It tells you exactly what to do too, right? Analyze on-page SEO. Use SEO Minion, a Chrome app. Make sure homepage and site pages have a proper and SEO optimized heading structure. It tells you exactly what to do, right? How to install the SEO plugins, the website settings that you need to have. Here's the page setup and optimization. Here's what to do for Google My Business. If you think Google My Business is something big and complicated, it is not. Look at that. This is what we do. Right now, our basic SEO package is $1,000 a month. So these things that you're seeing here are extremely valuable in that price range and more. So here's how to begin the monthly campaign, how to do the website sitemap. Then here's the second month. So this is what we do in the first month. Here's what we do in the second month, right? And then there's additional assets, all those things like that. Then it talks about how to assign, the start dates, the due dates, and then progress, how all that stuff goes, right? So all of the SOPs are extremely detailed like this. And they come with, again, in this one, you get the website, the SEO, and our pay-per-click SOPs. Then the last section of this, so that's pillar 2, fulfillment, covered. Client acquisition, check. Fulfillment, check, right? How to become the CEO of your own agency. So systems and processes. So these are several trainings that Nick did on becoming the CEO of your agency, right? How you become the CEO, what your day-to-day looks like, transitioning to CEO. This super valuable. How many people right now, you can let me know in the comments, are sitting there wondering, well, where do I start? What do I do first? Right? A common problem. Well, how do we avoid that? Well, we use this strategy. It's called the MINS, the most important next step. And when you use the MINS strategy, you will know what you need to do. So you just figure out your important next steps. And Nick walks you through how to do that. And then there's a bonus exercise called your vacation exercise. So this is when you're finally transitioning out. So systems, processes, so everything's run, right? There's some bonuses in here as well, right? How to scale in the next 6 months, real sales call with framework, service offering and pricing matrix, creating SOPs and training template. Like if you want to create your own, there's a surprise unannounced bonus, which I won't reveal. And then if you're interested in becoming a remote millionaire, if you want to take the next step, we have some information on that as well, right? How to work with this. So that's everything inside. This is everything you get for, I think today it's $28. I mean, this is a crazy, crazy good deal. The value here is super high. And then if you do the upgrade, like I mentioned on the training, you'll see another section in here that will be the training on how we build our team without spending any money, right? And then next Wednesday, I'm going to do a live training where we're going to dive a little more into client acquisition and what that looks like and why you need to do that and where you're going and how you get there and all that stuff. And I'm going to show you how to do it without hiring a full-time sales rep, how to have consistent prospecting going on when you don't have a full-time sales rep. So it's going to be a great training. You guys are going to love that. So again, that's everything in here. I went over the SOP. That's what I wanted to show you guys. So let me stop sharing here. But that's the Lazy Agency Owners Growth Toolkit, right? Let's go through here.
It's just awesome, and look, there's a couple of things I noted in it, and they're quite often, one's a real big pain point. The other one is one of those resources is a list of all the sites and the tools, the little helping tools that enable you to complete that fulfillment that's in there for those SOPs. It's just like a list of gold. You sort of go, wow, I've always wanted to have something I know that works. So, you can just choose it, go and get it, sort it out, carry on. It's tick that one off and keep on to the next one. The other thing is, I know, and talking to a lot of agency owners, there's a real pain point that is built around, okay, I've got some activity going on, and then they start spreading themselves thin because they haven't hired up at the start to achieve the fulfillment. And create happy customers and more income. And then you're sort of going, if only I had a salesperson, I wouldn't have to be focusing on that and I could focus on this over here. And it's, I think it really gives you a good idea of like how to go about getting a quality salesperson, because you can just go and hire someone and they can wind up doing nothing and just cost you money. But if you go through that whole process, you're going to get someone who hits the ground running, really adds value to your business, and more than pays for themselves right out of the gate. And that is what a growing business needs, is that real leg up and that real momentum to keep driving forward and start creating a lot more income. And that, I think, it really answers that pain point, because it's a conversation that comes up in Facebook and Remote Millionaires and all of those environments about, okay, I need to get a salesperson. And it's a daunting task if you're not a salesperson yourself. You're like, oh, okay, well, I might, wind up doing the wrong thing. It's a step-by-step guide to it. I think it's fantastic.
Well, and here's another mistake that I see a lot of people make. If you're going to hire a sales rep, because let's face it, that's the dream, right? Like, I want to have a full-time sales rep. I don't have to deal with any of that. I don't have to do any of that stuff. To have a full-time sales rep, and pardon my French here, you have to have your shit together. Meaning you have to be solid on the services you're providing,
Yep.
the value they deliver, your pricing. Like a good sales rep can't fix that. So like you have to be able to deliver and have a good product that they can go sell, right? So it's really important that your fulfillment is in line. That's how a good sales rep, you attract them, you get them, and they stay. If they come in and you don't even know what you're selling and your process isn't together, and it's like you're onboarding the clients is rocky, like it's just like there's no you're just kind of like winging it, they're going to be like, dude, I'm out of here, or sorry, lady, like see you later. Like that's not what they want, right? Like you have to be able to create a really good working culture where they know if they go out and sell, that person's taken care of because they're putting themselves on the line for you. So that's another point of the Lazy Agencies Owners Growth Toolkit, is to give you the tools and things you need to get to that point so that you can hire the sales rep. Because we're not at that point, a sales rep is not going to do you any good, or they're just going to come and go, right? So you got to have that stuff together. So that's one thing I wanted to say there. There was something else you said that I was like, oh, I want to make sure I don't remember what it was.
The list of links and goodies that are in there, and
oh yeah, the links and lists and all that stuff really great in there.
Yeah.
But I mean, yes, that is, if you want to know how to hire a great sales rep, it's in there. You can go do it. But I'm telling you, you better have your stuff together, right? You better have your processes and things together and be ready for that.
Otherwise, the cart is in front of the horse. And,
otherwise, it's not going to work out. And the other thing I wanted to say was about the fulfillment process, because I think that's really super important too. A lot of people just think, well, I'll just wait till, and even inside Remote Millionaires, we see this. We tell people all the time, we're like, listen, you need to start building a Rolodex of qualified people that can do your fulfillment right now. And sometimes people are like, but I don't have any clients, but I don't have this, but I don't have that. And they decide to just wait because to them, it doesn't seem right. They think it's out of order. They're like, well, I shouldn't be looking for people to hire when I don't even have clients and I'm not even making any money. So they just don't do it, right? So then what happens? They get a client, and their first post in Remote Millionaires is like, I have a client. What do I do? How do I do fulfillment? And it's like, well, where's your Rolodex person? Like the whole point of our strategy and process of hiring someone is not to start paying them when we're not making money. That is not what we're trying to do. We just want to find, vet, and have people on standby, and they are perfectly okay with that. They do not expect you to start paying them right away when you don't have a client. In fact, in the training, we even tell you just tell them up front, listen, I'm getting ready to start prospecting for clients. When I do, I just want to make sure I have a solid person for fulfillment. So we're not going to do anything right now, but when I get my first client, you're going to be the person I use. They are good with that, And then when you get a client, you hire them. Like it's a win-win situation. So those are two things I see a lot of people. The thinking is just not on track, right? Like one, you're not going to be able to hire a full-time sales rep unless you have your stuff together. And two, oh look, there's that stupid reaction thing. Oh.
The ghost bubble.
No, I thought I turned it off. I figured out how to turn it off, but I don't even see the thing. Oh, there it is. They automatically turn it on every time you go. So if you have a Mac and you're on camera, there's like a FaceTime icon that lights up, and those reactions are part of it. You click it, and there's a little menu, and you can turn them on or off. And I freaking look at that. That's studio light. Oh, I actually like that better. I turn them. Well, this is portrait mode. I don't know what that did. I turn them off, but they always turn them back on. So
sneaky, very
sneaky Apple.
Sneaky technology. Yeah, although my wife is now on a MacBook, and I've been HP for a long time, but she got a MacBook at the end of November, and she just swears by it. She says, "How do I set this thing up?" And just sort of everything just transferred over, and she went, "This is the best device I've ever had." Same as with the old Apple Watch. I got it as a gift, and I left it on the counter for 3 months. And my wife said, "If you don't use it, I will." So it took me 5 minutes to set it up. It's the single greatest piece of technology I've ever owned. I'm just absolutely amazed at how good they are.
Yeah, I used to always tell people like, "Oh, Android, Apple, they're the same." Until I got an iPad, and we had these Android pads, and like nothing ever worked, and like the Apple thing just always works. All right, look, I know we're going over. I know we're a little over. I want to cover a couple more things here, and I want to look through for questions. So, Dorn, yes, I love Dave Negrano's masterclass on poker. It's really cool. Phil Ivey has one as well on there that's really good. And no, Frank the Tank, there are no naughty links in that bookmark list. I would never do anything like that. Yeah, there's the Toby. I don't know. Toby's, if you want to upgrade to the paid, it's good, but I was just looking for something different. Let me look through here. What is the SEO tool that Norm shared? Do you know, Richie?
I tried to. It's not in this browser, but Donna, I will message you with it. It was a post in Remote Millionaires. I'll get it and I'll.
Well, here, let me look and see if maybe I can see it. Another thing I want to mention. You may have noticed that we have not done a member of the week. Normally, we give away a member of the week. We are in the middle of redoing the swag box. So we have been putting together a new treasure chest with more goodies that I won't reveal, and doing a little redesign there. So once those are done and ready to go, then we'll start doing member of the week again. But for right now, we haven't paused. And you said he put it inside Remote Millionaires?
Yeah, hang on. I might be able to find it.
Was it his current website audit?
I'll just have a quick search.
I don't think that's it.
My current website order. There we go. It is.
Nope, here, I found it.
Oh,
he's talking about Screaming Frog.
Yeah, Screaming Frog. That's right. screamingfrog.co.uk/SEO-spider.
Here, look, I'll put it in the thing. I didn't want to go until we found that for you.
Grab it. Control C.
Here it is. Screaming Frog. I put a link in the thing. Screaming Frog is what he's talking about.
Yeah, really cool. Like really, really, really cool. It gives you a lot of detail, and yeah, it's well and truly a great share and a great find.
Yeah, let me scroll through and just make sure I'm not. Yeah, that's what I was talking about, that little freaking reactions thing. There's a thing on a MacBook called reactions, and whenever you do thumbs up, it does these little bubbles, and when you do 2, it makes confetti. Balloons go off, and like I've been in some Zoom calls, and I'm like all of a sudden balloons and confetti. Anyway, if it's happening to you, and I had to explain this to Nick, there's a green button that's in your Mac toolbar that's for FaceTime, and when you're on video, it lights up. When you click it, there's a little menu, and reactions are one of them, and you can turn it off there. But you have to do it every time because they automatically turn it on whenever you open up a camera. So,
Jacqueline, not ideal for those audits in Reach. The audits in Reach are very much geared at online presence, so between a Google profile and a little bit of a light on-page SEO. This is a far more detailed example. I find SEO Minion, which is another tool that's mentioned in those SOPs before, Tom, that gives you the data you need to complete that audit. I just did a training this morning with a couple of RM members on doing those audits, and it's very much around creating the conversation in a friendly environment with a prospective customer about what's right and what's wrong with their online presence, as opposed to just website data. So yeah, we kind of talk about the whole thing. So that's what that audit process is in the Reach machine.
Yeah, good. So Cameron posted the link in here because whenever I post, for some reason, it only posts to YouTube. It's really annoying. But that's the link, Screaming Frog. You can see it there. Awesome. Okay, so I want to do 2 more things. Somebody put it in there too. It's about hand gestures, so you can see them. I think that's how I found out to turn it off. Okay, so I wanted to do. Oh, this looks like it's gonna fall. Oh,
he's gone. Poof.
What happened?
You're back to your magic tricks, Tom. Yeah, poof. While you're getting that sorted out, I know you're gonna cover off what you're reading. I've just ordered a new book. I haven't gone and made a big list of New Year's resolutions, but one thing I've committed to this year is actually reading a bit more. I'd like to get through a book a month. I'm going to try and get through a book a month, but either way. But I ordered this book here. It hasn't arrived yet. I was hoping it'd be here today. It's Content Fortress by Martin Huntback and Lindsay Cambridge. And it is about content marketing, and there's also a very interesting part about kind of like reverse psychology marketing, and where you are using content on your website as an agency business, a really good one for eliminating the people you don't want to work with. And that sounds quite anti-sales, but in actual fact, what it does is it streamlines your input of customers and eliminates essentially what you call the time wasters. So it's a very delicate thing. It's got to be done right. And that book, Content Fortress, that covers off 7 different things, and that's one of them. So yeah, that's what I am about to read.
That sounds interesting. Shoot me over the link for that because I want to check that out.
Will do.
So 2 things. Here, look, I haven't used this in so long. Look at this. Look, where did it go?
Content Fortress, Paddy.
Oh, I thought I had What's Tom Reading, but I must have deleted it. Whoops. We haven't done that in so long. I deleted it. Okay. So this is what I've been reading over the break. This is not a it's not marketing. It's not business. Look, there it is. It's not marketing or business related. This would be more of kind of like I think becoming a better person type of a thing. It's by, I don't know how you say his last name, Mark Matasuk, and it's called Lessons from an American Stoic, How Emerson Can Change Your Life. So I actually saw, what is his name? Who's the actor? I can see his face. Anyway, he recommended this, so I picked it up. You can see I'm not all the way through it yet, but it's got it talks about originality, on perspective, on nonconformity, on resilience, and on vitality. I'm on contradiction right now, but I found this really interesting, really good read. So I've liked this. The other thing, this isn't a book I'm reading, but this is something I started doing. I'm saying this to try to help me accountable. I've done it for 3 days now. Pretty good start. But it's a journal. It's called the Artist's Way Morning Pages Journal. So you basically write 3 pages a day. Been doing it for 3 days. Want to try to stick with it. So I'm sharing it here. You guys can hold me accountable. You can ask me about it.
You write 3 pages a day.
You write 3 pages a day, freehand, first thing in the morning. It's basically, I got it from Tim Ferriss. So I already do this journal, which is called the 5-minute journal. And this is just a quick little, I like this one a lot because you write it's got a quote, a motivational quote, and then you write 3 things you're grateful for. You write 3 things that would make today great. There's a place for a daily affirmation. And then at the end of the day, you write the highlights and what have I learned. So I've been doing this for about 3 months, but I wanted to do something a little more. And the other thing I got from him as well, but this is the other one he recommends where you basically sit down, you just stream of conscious, write all the things that are going through your head, no rhyme, no reason. The idea behind it is for it to just clear away all the junk so you can just do your day. And look, I've only been doing it for 3 days, but I have noticed a difference. I feel much more calm. My brain isn't racing all around to 17 different things throughout the day because I put stuff here, what am I worried about? What am I afraid of? What do I want to get done? All these things. What am I, I get it out first thing in the morning, and then it's I don't really think about it that much the rest of the day. So that's what I've been doing. And the reason I bring that up is I did want to just say something about 2024, and maybe some of you set resolutions, some of you set goals. And I mentioned this to somebody in a comment in the Facebook group. but I just wanted to say this live. I had 3 big goals in 2023. I hit none of them. Okay? 0 of those 3 big goals did I hit. I am not upset about that. I'm actually in really good spirits about it. And you may be thinking, well, why, Tom? Why are you in good spirits about not achieving one single goal that you set for yourself in 2023? That is because they're pretty big goals. I knew they were going to be difficult, right? They're pretty big goals. If I could have easily completed them, they probably weren't the best goals for me. Like, I want to set bigger goals, right? And so I'm not too worried about it, right? Like, I'm just going to refocus. I'm going to start back over. I'm going to decide whether those are the goals I want to continue to go after or what they are, right? So I say this because if you're out there and you're watching this video and you didn't achieve any of your goals, you didn't get to where you want to be, who cares? It's a new year. Let's just start today. Yeah. We can start from today, right?
Mm-hmm. I'm the same, and we talked last week, Jason and Norm, about New resolutions and goals that stick, and seeing them past March, which is kind of the drop point for a lot of them. And I've warmed into one slowly. Mandy and I are running a half marathon this year, so that's going to be a process all the way through to November. We've had a couple of runs, which is good. And I'm just going to build up slowly, But from a business point of view, I had good reflection on 23 over quite a few weeks, and looked at the things that weren't happening the way I wanted them to, and then started breaking it down. And I think in the past I've been too quick to sort of go, well, it's not my fault, it's other people or other things out of my control. And I very much had a review period around what am I doing to help or hinder. And where does my focus really need to be? And I've come into this year really sort of quite steely and clear on exactly what I'm doing this year, and how I'm going to get there. And then with Dawn sharing the planning tool from Shark Alliance, that's a great way to fit all of those things into those 90-day pockets that just keep me moving through it. And so I kind of feel a bit more. Not motivated is probably the wrong word, but kind of focused on what the path is for 2024 for myself personally, and for my agency businesses as well. And I'm pretty excited about it. I think it's going to be a case of sticking to it and changing things as we go, so that I can make sure I hit those monthly, quarterly, and annual goals this year, as opposed to not making changes when I needed to in 2023.
Yeah, so important. And by the way, like, I make 0 New Year's resolutions. Like, I haven't done New Year's resolutions in a long time, because I try to focus on a couple of goals that I want to work out through the whole year. And, I've found when I make New Year's resolutions, they usually don't stick anyway. So I'd much rather, be in it for the long haul, right? So those types of things and all that stuff you said, Richie, right on, really good stuff. So one last thing before we go.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money. Money, money, money.
Dollar, dollar. Dollar, dollar. Ching, ching, bling, bling, chatter. You ain't talking money, then you're talking no matter.
All right. Hey. So our winners this week for the Cash App are Ansalim Shambrira and Regina Floyd.
Congratulations.
So the way you win the Cash App money is whenever I share that shout out post, you just go to that in our Facebook group and leave a comment. Great job. Way to go. Good work, everybody. And then we just pick 2 random people each week, and we send them $25 Cash App money. So Maria and Regina Floyd, I hope I said those names right. I'm going to, the team will put them in the chat maybe, or reach out to you. You can just send them your info and we'll get that to you. Man, I know we went over, but we had a lot of important stuff to talk about today. So I really hope you go back. This video will be in the Facebook group after we leave here. Watch it again. Take some notes. There really is a lot of good stuff. Go to offlinesharks.com/lazy agency. Pick up the Lazy Agency Owner's Growth Toolkit. It's really, really a great deal. Make sure you come to the training on Wednesday. And then Richie and I will see you here next Friday. Same shark time, same shark channel.
Hey, have a great weekend, everyone.
You've been watching the Aloha Marketing Jam session. We've helped thousands just like you start and scale their businesses. If you'd like our help to grow your business, go to the link on your screen now and let us know how we can help you. Don't forget to like, comment, and share this stream. We'll be back here next Friday for another live show. Until then, aloha.